I've come to a hurdle in my life where I've got to make a big decision. I can't sit for long enough to do any of these projects. I can't take my scooter out because I can't carry it. I can't get back up the stairs with it. I can just about get down there, but that's the end of it. I mean, my legs, even if I go out for an hour and come back, my legs are still completely knackered. And we're right one anyway. I live in constant pain and I can't stand it anymore, so I've decided to pay for my own treatment because the NHS has let me down and I can't live in this pain anymore. It's killing me. We've got things like the Tesla coil. That one is a working one. That one is my prototype, which was supposed to be bloody fantastic. I spent days and days calculating the windings on that. If you plug that in and touch that, you're dead. I know that because it's perfectly tuned. And so is the top load thing, whatever it is. But yeah, that one works. That one I never tested. But the trouble with that one is you have to connect the ground wire, that blue wire down there. You have to connect that to a ground point, as in a pipe. But unfortunately, because I live in a flat, if I connect that pipe, that thing there, it wipes out everyone's internet. So I can't use it. I can't complete it. You've got all the capacitor bank there. They were bloody expensive, those caps. High discharge. Anyway, and it goes with that. So all the kit, I think, is still there. You've got spare coils, you've got a spare toroid there. In there's another spare control board. There's all the stuff that you need for playing music on that. You can actually play music on it. It has to be square wave music, but you can. It's not a problem. So I've got all that for sale. This is better. Stop, turn it all, keep going, turn it. No, back. That's it.
Bloody hell!
I've got here a spot welder. Now, not only have you got the secure spot welder in there, but there's also the Electrics one. So there is actually two spot welders in there with all the cables, and you've also got the one that you only have to use one. You only have to use one hand with that one there. So you can just do like that. You get the battery with it. And these, which are protectors, battery protectors, they're there for 600s. I can't remember, whatever. And there's some for 650s in there as well. Make me an offer. So you've got the what is it now? 28 volts. 28 volts. It's 10S supercapacitor bank. It'll kick out about 2000 amps. What you do is, the output lead here, you connect that to there. So when that's plugged in there, what you've got there is a solenoid. Now what that does, when you apply 12 volts to that, simply as just apply 12 volts to that shuts. So that's on a remote sort of a lead. And then out of this, you get the full current of that. It'll vaporise. You have to make a lead up just so you don't knacker that, but it will vaporise anything you connect to it. Now there's also these balance wires that I was using for testing the BMS and stuff that I was working on, but I think I'll leave those on. This also got a balance. This is an essential part, is the balance part of it, because if any of these go over voltage, you're in trouble. You're in serious trouble. They do not like being overcharged. So I only pumped 27 volts into this, and it does work very, very well. We have a HTech DSO 2D15, which is going. Nice scope and signal generator, and you can modify it however you want. You can do your own splash screen and God knows what. That is an absolutely fantastic scope, that is. I don't know what is it now, 150 megahertz, 1 gig of samples a second. So it's pretty high bloody spec. And you get the leads with them and everything else. Make me an offer. Go and have a look how much the HTech DSO 2D15 is. Make me an offer. I know what it's worth. You tempt me. I've got here a Ryden Rd 600p power supply. This thing will kick out, is it 60 volts or 70 volts? I can't remember now. I think it's 60 volts. It's something like about 5 amps, but it'll go down to nothing. It'll go down to absolutely nothing. I use it for charging batteries or trying to kickstart batteries back into life the majority of times, or powering Arduino stuff, or whatever you want to use it for, because it's a very good clean signal on it. It goes down to 0 volts, it goes up in millivolts. It's not something like volts, it's actually what works on millivolts. It's so bloody accurate, it's unreal. You put your negative on there, positive on there, that's for just a normal output. If you're charging a battery, you put your positive on there, negative on there. It's got some, there's some diodes inside that prevent it from any leak back. So it's always best to do that. If I plug it into my capacitor bank or anything like that, the capacitor bank is basically dead short at the minute. So I have to force charge it with that bit. So I'll force charge it up to about 3 or 4 volts, and then I'll plug that one in, and it will detect it as a battery then, and it'll charge properly. So that one's for sale. That's a complete kit with a power supply and God knows what in it. It's got a temperature sensor and beautiful piece of kit. Make me an offer. Here I've got, was it the Hewing Ranger T1 or whatever it was? It's got a 2S, is it 4S 2P battery in it. Shoehorned in there somewhere. It's on 1.3 gig. And it's got a, I don't know what the camera is on the front actually. I don't know if it's a run cam. It's a run cam split, but I don't know which one. So this flies fantastically. It's got a Maytech 1.3 gig transmitter in there. And not only that, but if you buy that, I'm going to throw in a free pair of the Dominator 2s. Dominator 2 goggles with a 1.3 gig antenna. The battery all works perfect. This thing does, I think I checked, it was about 98 mile an hour or something like that. That's the maximum I had out of it anyway. These things absolutely scream when it's going, but it will fly slowly as well. It's quite weird. It's a bloody good plane. One of my best builds, I think. So that one's going. Make me an offer. This here is the BMS Project. I was reinventing the BMS. We've got all the bits and pieces needed. These are bloody super capacitors. Are they 15 farad? Yeah, 5.5 volt 15 farad. I had to order them specially. In here we've got, oh god, all these FETs. All the FETs that was needed to build quite a few of them. And in here There's loads of destructions for things and bits and pieces and God knows what. And we have all the parts. These are all the ICs that I bought. You've got a lot of money's worth there. All these bigger ones, they're all shift registers. And that smaller one there, AQY211EH, they are opto isolators. So you've got a lot of them. Hell of a lot of everything. In here we've got the new LCDs. I think there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new LCDs. These are the sharp memory LCDs, so they use no power. Absolutely, so it's micro amps they use. I've got all the boards here that I was working on. I think this was the latest one. It's actually got the throttle attached to it. So it was working. It was communicating with the what's it called now? The Flip Sky 75100 or 72100. I can't remember. There is a lot of stuff in here. There's LCDs that I was testing. There's some other LCDs in here. I think there's 4 different LCDs. Well, there's 4 more LCDs in here. You've got a spare board there as well, working spare boards, and another one there. You've got 3 working boards, sort of working. Loads and loads of IC mounts and everything. Loads more ICs. These are all shift registers, I think. And this is the other part that I was working on. It was the final bit. Basically what it does is it allows something like about a 10 amp load to be balanced properly. So it's one of the most powerful active balancers that you could get. And that was the last test that I did, and I actually got it working. But I just can't do it anymore. I'm sorry, but I can't do it. Physically, I can't sit down long enough to do any of this stuff. And there are loads of connectors that I bought from RS and God knows where, and tiny ICs which I haven't got a clue what they were. What else is in here? I'm even throwing in that one. That was the secure ODESC 4.1, which I couldn't get working properly, but I'll put that in there as well. So if anybody wants it, I don't know if I can ship it international, but I'd like to know if anybody wants to take it off my hands so they can continue the project. Anybody who buys it, they'll have all the source code. I'll give them all the files for the drawings, for absolutely everything, in the hopes that somebody can finish it. I haven't got time. It's physical limitations here, and it's got to go. It's a shame that I can't finish it, and I hope somebody will. It's doubtful if anybody wants to buy that, but you know, you've got to try, haven't you? Oh, I've got a box of RC stuff here. Small motors. Carbon fibre. Oh, it's a carbon fibre frame, I think it is. That was a mini quad that I had. Big prop. GPS tracker. Oh, that's a Flip Sky. 60 volts, 280 amp, continuous. That's basically a switch. That's all it is. God, 280 amp continuous burst is 800 amps. This is full of flight controllers. I think there's 6 flight controllers in there. Various different ones. Even this bloody motor, the motor's 40 quid. It's still 40 quid. It cost me bloody double that. And there's the ESC that goes with it. This was on that purple plane that I built because there's still signs of purple on it. Never flew, had to throw it away. These are all 1.3 gig transmitters. I don't know how many in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 1.3 gig transmitters. Box of servos. And you've got this one, which is the MyFly Dream flight controller. I can't remember what it is, with a 1.3 UHF receiver transmitter. So I've got one of those. You've got all the T-beacon stuff, so you'll never lose a model again. I've got 5.8 gig receiver. There's also in here a 1.3 immersion RC 1.3 transmitter. 5.8 transmitters, they're absolutely everywhere. Antennas, massive current sensor down there. What the hell's that? 100 amps. 100 amp current sensor. That's 100 amps continuous. Motors, oh god, there's a few of these. There is a few of them. They've got some of them as well. And there's also there's spare props in there. A big prop if you need one. I think that was on my Spitfire. That's had to go. To be honest, I had to scrap it. Anyway, oh yeah, there's a receiver there. That's a 5.gig receiver for your phone. Sunny Sky X2216. And we got these, which is the RS2205s. I think there's 4 of them. I'm not quite sure. Vector flight controller, which you can't buy anymore. They were one of the best flight controllers ever. They were, and they still are. It's got colour output and everything, and it's a fantastic piece of kit. But it's going. If you want me to do a deeper look into this and send you videos, if you say what's that, I'll do another video. But anyone who wants to buy it, let me know. Last one for the day. I can't stay down here. This is the 16S project thing that I was working on, which I'd never finished, and I haven't got the time. I haven't got the energy to sit down there for hours and hours testing it. So that's going to go with all my Arduino stuff. Load resistors, connectors, one of those things, input output, what's it things, power converter, whatever, your power supply things, 12 volt power supply, current sensor. I also got all the kit in here to do a OBD2 output thing. So that's the SCART connector that you plug in. I never got around to doing that. Arduino DUI. These things, there's loads of them in there. I say loads, there's a few of them in there. These are 433 or 866 or something like that transmitters, long distance transmitters, and believe me, you get a long way with them. We've got a bag of resistors, full of resistors. We've got there's a few displays in here as well. These things, they do voltage and current, but you have to be careful how you wire them up because they pop. It's very easy to make them pop. So you've got some new ones in here as well, still in the bag. We've got some knobs here which go on to the switches that are also in here somewhere. They are big switches. So you've got some of these which are varying resistance. That's a 100k resistor pot. And there's some others down here. What's that, 50k? That's a 50k pot. Little speakers that I bought when I was doing the internet radio. And these are the wave-share displays. They were very, very cheap, but I was working on the BMS project and I thought there'd be a brilliant sort of a screen on the front because they're IPS and they were absolutely fantastic quality, or they looked it anyway, until I tried it. The refresh rate is quite slow for what I want, so I couldn't use those. It looks like this was the one I was working on, so I connected it all up. Focus. A 2-inch LCD module. It's an IPS screen, superb quality, but the update's not very fast, or not fast enough. We've got a bag of high precision, they 0.1% or something like that, resistors. I think they were capacitors or something. I had to try and get high precision caps and everything else. That was to go on this thing. Yeah, there they are. So they're the high precision resistors, which is still a bloody bag of them here. So there's loads of stuff, you know, box of resistors as well. It's, you know, get you going in Arduino stuff, definitely. Oh, there's also a fan in there. Oh, there's 2 fans in there. There you go. Point of sale. So all that's going to go in one job. The rest of it I'll do in another video. I can't do too much. If you want anything that I've seen, it's offers. There's one downside. I can't really ship it if it's going to be an expensive thing like that thing, because it's an ongoing project and it's nearly done. That's going to be expensive. The rest of the stuff, if you want to make an offer, make me an offer. It's collect only, unfortunately, but something like that I'll possibly ship it. I don't know how yet, but you know, I'll possibly ship it. And that's it. I'll do the rest. That's all carbon fibre stuff I've got to go through, but I'll do the rest another day. Another day. Someone buy it. I want someone to complete this one, because I wound all that by hand and I built all that by hand, and I never had time to actually complete it, and I couldn't really run it because it knocks everyone's internet out and it's loud. If you want to buy anything, let me know. We'll come up with a deal. Don't think that you're going to insult me with anything. It's got to go because I can't use it anymore. I've come to the point in life where I've just got to admit I can't use it. I need the money to get treatment for my leg and my back. I've got no help and I can't bear this pain anymore. I really can't bear it. So I've got to get help. I've got to raise funds to get the help, and hopefully it will pay for it. But if you want anything, let me know. The link, I'll put my email below. You can drop me an email and then we'll see where we go from there. Thanks, lads and lassies. I'll catch you soon. I haven't left. When this is gone, I haven't left, because I'll be doing something else. I might do lasers actually, I don't know. It's an easy sort of thing that I can leave and go back to. I don't know. But at the moment I can't use this stuff. I can't sit down long enough. I can't finish any projects. Let me know. Contact details are below.